Dang bro, are we about to get attacked by the Decepticons or something? Greetings everybody, Super Freddy here, back with another tutorial. And today I'm going to show you how to make Spring Bonnie out of cardboard. Now the last tutorial I did was on Springtrap, and fittingly enough, the other highly requested character for me to make a tutorial on is Spring Bonnie. Now, thanks to the previously mentioned video, I know how long it takes to make these tutorial videos. So I'm just gonna stop talking and show you what materials you will need to make Spring Bonnie. Let's go.
I am Steve. As a child, I yearned for the mines.
So first, you'll need a decent amount of cardboard. I almost forgot to mention this, but you also need a reference. I personally used this render of Spring Bonnie when creating this guy, so yeah. 2 sheets of yellow construction paper, a normal sheet of paper, some tape and some scissors, a pencil, a black Sharpie, a brown marker, a purple marker, and a green marker, and a ruler if you so choose. I don't actually use a ruler, I just kind of eyeball the whole process. And now with all our materials set, let's get to making this murder.
You back home early from your mother, sugar?
My name is Optimus Prime.
So let's get started with the cardboard. Now I'm going to be completely honest with you. The cardboard section for Spring Bonnie is the exact same thing we did for Springtrap. So I'm going to go through this section rather quickly. So first we're going to start off with the head. So we're going to want to make a sort of half oval that is about 4 inches tall. Then you're going to want to cut it out, put it on another piece of cardboard, trace it, then cut it out to duplicate it. Next, we're going to want a long strip of cardboard that is about 2 inches thick. Then we're going to bend it, and with tape, we're going to tape these 3 things together, sort of like this. Cut off the excess cardboard, and the end product should look like this. And now we're going to do the muzzle, or snout, whatever this thing is. We're going to want to create a half circle, duplicate it, grab a strip of cardboard that is 1.5 inches thick, tape it together, and the end product should look like this. And now we're going to make Spring Bonnie's lower jaw. So briefly, we're going to tape the snout to the head, like so. Then we're going to put the head on a piece of cardboard and trace it to make the lower jaw. Then we're going to cut it out, and it should end up looking something like this. And now that we have the jaw, we're going to flesh it out. Not really, no. We're going to put this on so the jaw's not flat. We're going to want a very thin strip of cardboard. Then we're going to want to tape the long strip of cardboard on the jaw like this. And the end result should look something like this. And now that we're done with the jaw, we're now going to make this part of the spring lock suit. I still don't know what that is. It's this part, just in case you're confused. So we're going to grab a 1.5 inch thick strip of cardboard, and we're just going to... I dropped it. And we're just gonna mold it to the jaw. And by cutting the piece to make it look more proportional, it should look something like this. By the way, I turned on the light because it's starting to get dark outside. But anyways, now that we're done with the whole head section, we can finally start to begin on the body. So the way we're going to do the body is we're going to use this thinner part of the lower jaw in order to determine the thickness of the body. Like this, and then we're going to fold it to make the rest of the body. And it's going to be shaped like a rectangle. And now we're going to put some cardboard here at the bottom of the body so there's not a massive hole. And it should look something like this when we're done. And now we'll move on to making the limbs, which are just tubes. Now the process for this is pretty simple. All we need to do is grab a piece of cardboard and bend it. And once we tape it together, it should look something like this. And then we're going to repeat this 4 more times for the other limbs. And there we go. Also important to mention that the legs will be a little shorter than the arms. And with that, we have finally completed the cardboard part of this project. So now we can begin on the paper. Okay, so what we're gonna want to do is basically just cover everything in yellow. That's all we're gonna do right now. So let's start with the head. So first we're going to once again reattach the snout. So the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to cut out a square piece of paper that is roughly the size of the head. Then we're going to want to tape on the piece of paper to the head and then cut off the excess paper on the other side of the head. And then after we cut out the excess piece of paper, we're going to tape it on to the head like we did with the other side. And then after we've done that, we're basically just want to cut out the piece of paper alongside the shape of the head. Then result should look something like this. And then we're going to do the same exact thing we did here for the other side of the head. There we go. Now what we're going to want to do for the side of the head is cut out a long strip of cardboard and also tape it to the side of the head. Then after we tape the strip of paper to the head, we're going to cut out the excess paper. And there we go. The end result for the head should look something like this, and you should end up with a mess like this. And what we just did for the head is what we're going to do for the snout, the sniffer. Same thing we did for the front of the head, and same thing we did for the side of the head. And now we'll move on to the jaw. So what we're going to do with the jaw is we're going to cover the bottom of it and the sides of it, which is similar to what we did to the side of the head. Like this. Might I add that adding paper to this part is gonna be like very tricky. Like it's good, Jesus. The end result should look something like this. And so now we'll work on the bottom of the jaw, which is the same process we did for the front of the head. Almost there, and done. We'll get to this piece later, but now we can work on the body. And then after the body we can work on this and the eyes and the teeth and the ears and the uranium. So what we're going to want to do is grab a long strip of paper and tape it to the back of the body like this, and then we're going to wrap the strip of paper around the body. And once we've done that and taped the paper together, we're going to cut off the excess paper. The end result should look something like this. And then for the bottom of the body, it's the same process that we've always done. It's the front of the face. Dang it. There we go. Let's move on to the limbs. So what we're going to want to do for the limbs is basically the same thing we did for the body. Grab a strip of paper, tape it to the piece of cardboard, then wrap it around it. Cut off the excess paper. Then for the top of the arm, we're going to grab a piece of paper and do the exact same thing we did for the front of the head. It's always the same thing, Jesus. And then once you're done with all of that, the limb should look like this. Now repeat that 3 times. So now that we're finished and covering everything in P, we can finally start to work on everything else, such as the teeth, the eyes, and especially the ears. Let's first begin with this thing. So first we're going to want to grab a long strip of paper. We'll want it to be a little bit thicker than the piece of cardboard. You're going to want to color it gray with your pencil. Next we're going to want to temporarily tape the strip of paper to the cardboard. Now the reason we're doing this is so we can cut off the excess pieces of paper so we can draw these details on and not have to worry about, cutting off the details when we eventually do cut off the excess paper. The end result should look like this, and now we can detach the paper from the cardboard. And now that we've detached the paper from the cardboard, we can finally start to draw the details, which are just ovals, so it shouldn't be that hard. And there we go. We're only going to do the back and not the front because you're not going to see the front. And so once again, we're going to tape the piece of paper to the cardboard, and the end product should look like this. And now we can start on the body, which is actually made up of 3 components: the buttons, the stomach, and the bow tie. So we're going to want to cut out a piece of paper that is as thick as the body, and we're going to want to cut it to be a half oval that is sort of the same shape as the head. Then we're going to want to color it brown, and then we're going to move on to the buttons. We're going to want to cut 2 pieces of paper and turn them into circles. We're going to want to color them black. Simple enough. And now we'll work on the bow tie. You can choose how your bow tie looks, but I personally went with this. It's based on the original. We're going to want to color in the bow tie, then cut it out. And now with all our components, we're gonna tape it all together. It's up to you to do that, be very careful. And now with all the components on the body, we are done, and now we can move on to the head. The head. So let's start with the lower jaw. So the sides of the jaw will have 3 teeth each, and the front will have 4 teeth. And for the teeth, we're going to make small squared pieces of paper, and really try your best to make them the same size. So, yeah, almost there. Forgot to mention this, but we also have to do teeth for this side of the jaw. And the end product should look something like this. Now for the top of the head. We're first going to start with the snout and making its nose. Now, the very difficult and intuitive process for making this nose is, it's just a brown oval tape to the snout. Anyways, on to making the eyes. We're going to want to make sure that the eyes are proportional to the face. And then we're going to draw the eyes. We're going to want to make them look like this. Good luck. And when you're done, the eyes should look something like this. And now with the snout and the eyes complete, it's time to tape them together. But make sure to be careful, this is literally the face, it's the thing you're gonna recognize the most. There we go, and now time for the teeth. What day is it again? So I took a 1-day break, and I got a little sick. And now the shelf is gone. But anyways, that's not important. Let's get back to the tutorial. So here I cut out all the individual teeth, and I think I didn't show how I put on the teeth for the lower jaw, so yeah, not the biggest brain move I've done. So I'll quickly show you how to do that. So we're gonna want to line up all the teeth, and then we're gonna want to sort of catch them with tape. So, have you guys seen the new trailer for the Minecraft movie? Like, what's your opinion on the designs for, like, the mobs, for the hostile mobs? And once we're done with the teeth, the end result should look like this. Surprise shadow. And now we're actually going to tape the head together so we can have a nice reference for when we're making the ears. The bottom of the jaw will be more securely taped on, which means they'll be taped here, 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 and here, as opposed to the top of the head, which will only be taped here. And there we go. And with the head done, we can finally begin to work on the ears. So the ears are composed of 3 parts: the endoskeleton section, the yellow pieces of paper, and the brown insides of the ears. Let's begin with the endoskeleton section. So for each ear, we're going to want 2 tiny little strips of paper. We're going to want to color them gray on both sides with a pencil. Now onto the ears themselves. Using the pencil, we're going to want to draw a pattern like this. That is for the bottom of the ear, and for the top of the ear, we're going to want it to be a little more circular. Then we'll want to cut them out and then do the same process for the other ear. There we go. And now for the insides of the ears. Cut out some pieces of paper. Turn the pieces of paper into ovals that are proportionate to the rest of the ear. Then we're going to color them brown. And once we've done that, we're going to tape it all together. There we go. And now we can tape them onto the head. There we go. And now for the final thing for us to do is to tape everything together. And there we go.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Here's the new Spring Bonnie compared to the old Spring Bonnie. I'll still be using the old one whenever I use them for stuff, but this one is pretty good too. Here he is next to Springtrap. Yeah. So yeah, if you liked the video, leave a like if you want. Comment on how I could improve these tutorials, but other than that, that's about it. So, bye.